Hi, folks. Nick Tucker here with the Historical Fencing Guild, sliding in at the last minute. Wow. Okay. Exciting one. We just got back from doing a bunch of the big purchases for the upgrades. So I'll get into that in just a second. Okay. Before we do that, we got to pay the bills, right, folks? So, the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by The Simple Sword and The Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tucker. You can find all my books there, almost all my books, including the Big Stompy Robots Core Rulebook and the two novellas of Small Arms and Eyes to the Sky. I will be acquiring more of those for my upcoming appearances. I'll have to check my calendar to let you in on that. You can also support us through Luke Stone Studios at www.lukestonestudios.com, where you can get Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, the role-playing game. Designed by me, set in Luke's wonderful universe. This is basically my baby. I love it. It's great to write something that somebody else has published. Wow! Folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this. Normally, I am able to put this out there a whole lot more, but when I say we came scooting in, I came scooting in at the last minute. It's been a thrilling day. So, what all is up? Oh my gosh, there's so much going down. Next Saturday, the 28th, will be our first official open practice of the season, which I'm working very, 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 very hard to get the excuse me, hiccups. Get the list filled up. But we actually had a lawn company come out and tear down the lawn to make life easier. It also damaged the list field supports, so I'm back to almost square one when I reset. So this is going to be an exciting and incredibly busy week for me, trying to get site and facilities up to the standards I was building towards. But I also have, if all goes well, I'll be getting a couple truckloads of mulch acquired in the near future. We're going to lay down ground fabric, readjust the list field, have it aligned up so that hopefully it will be a little more even, a little more balanced, and hopefully better lit. We still haven't been able to get the lumber to build some of the things I want to, simply because lumber prices have skyrocketed. And I take the money that I get from my Patreon to support what I do very seriously. So I'm looking for alternate ways to acquire lumber and lumber-like goods to do what I need to do. So all that is coming. It's all coming down the pipe. I don't have my calendar. But as part of summer reading, I will be doing appearances at the Benton County Public Library, both doing on-site art for the kids. I'll be doing portraitures. And I will be doing a live demo on pirates and sword fighting and things like that, which may require garb. I have to see. Obviously, I won't fit into any of the garb I have, which means I may have to get some new stuff made. Wow. Yes. I'm going to hit the comments real fast, and then we'll get rolling with the day. Like I said, I may have had to have an emergency Hawaiian shirt, because branding is important, flung at me with about 30 seconds for the stream to come up. It's an exciting one, and given the nature of today, I needed that. I needed that goofball energy. It's just a thing. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it a lot. Today's a special day. Foxy was through the door saying, evening, everyone. Cindy Kep says, well, hello there, General Kenobi. Oh, I'm sorry. Thesis, happy Friday, Sword Family. Happy Friday to you, Thesis. You know we love you. Cindy Kep says, I'm getting ready to play test a game. Oh, that is exciting. Johnny Cage, I got a lot of trees. What do you need? Johnny, if there was a way for you to get vast quantities of lumber to central Indiana, we'd talk, but I think it's a little out of the way. see, if there's a construction near you, maybe dumpster dive for discarded wood, there actually is several piles of discarded wood by the railroad tracks that I'm to get some of the upgrades I've been doing. I've been manually walking about a mile to get board by board with my son and bring them back because it's not the safest place to park. So, absolutely. Um, let's see. As the forest lumber, watch for local places to give away free pallets. I'm actually it's really hard. I'm a scrounge, and there are a lot. This is a scrounge heavy environment, so I'm really looking out for that. For basically any materials. We just had the town cleanup, and few people had anything going out that I could acquire. Usually, I can get some lawn goods or something like that. We will get that because that's what I do. My job is to take, we, the unknown, led by the unknowing, have been doing the impossible for the ungrateful for so long. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing, and I'm going to live up to that title. But yes, I'm actively on ping. Once my pickup truck gets fixed, the world will be a lot easier for such things. But that is okay too, because we're going to make it work. Thesis says, demos for kids, watch out for those evil stares. They'll get you. No doubt. I understand that you've got a level in Ranger and your chosen enemy is stairs. But, and I do have to go down some to get to where I'm going to because it will be in the basement of the Benton County Public Library. But I am more than confident that I'll be able to manage that because I do a lot there. I'm very active in that library. I used to work at the other one, and its stairs are much more terrifying. But yes, stairs are evil. Improvise and adapt. Yeah, see, I have two streams of thought that come through my upbringing. One of those is make the plan, work the plan. The other is improvise, adapt, overcome. And between the two of those, I make things work. So I'm excited because whenever I need something like this, whenever the universe puts me in a position where I'm not finding what I thought I was going to need, alternatives appear. Because the timber is so hard to get, we're going to use in the ground lawn edging, and we're gonna use the spikes to drive that down. That'll hold the landscape fabric that we're going to then get. We're seriously going to have to get about 30 bags of mulch to get it where it will be a little safer and not, we won't be fighting the weeds and stuff all season, possibly forever if all knocks on wood. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's just, we took some surprise hits, and traditionally this is a very bad day for me. It's actually my worst day of the year is May 20th. I have in the past not done streams, canceled practices and such, but instead I'm working to keep positive, do what I do, and I can make it through. I'm halfway concerned my shirt's inside out or something, but no, it's not. Okay, it's been one of those days. Okay, Thesis says, so small update this week. I had to follow up with the doctor on Tuesday. He said everything looks good. He also gave me it's okay to move, just using the cane whenever I feel most comfortable. Exquisite. Now, I do recommend a derby style cane where it has the S, and of course that cane I would hold up is not in here because I haven't needed it. They're wonderful. They give good protection, especially if you don't have wrist issues. I have wrist issues, so I have to do shady things sometimes. But take it easy. Learn how you're going to move, but pay attention to how you move now, because it's going to change a lot of your styles. That's why the simple sword is taught in such a way that I've eliminated a lot of the grander movements, the more elaborate movements, because I wanted to design a style that if you're hurt, you could still perform, or more limited than you expected. Which I start on Wednesday and have started on Wednesday. Congratulations, and have been using since. He's getting used to the cane. Thankfully, he has someone to learn from on hand. Well, that is a skill set. I'm learning how to do. I was miserable when I was on those double crutches and the braces. I sleep in them still. Ooh, okay, that storm's coming through. But the braces that go down to here. Yay for improvement. And you like the derby style, eh? Can't stand them myself. My hands are too small. I like the knob style better. I like the derby style because it distributes the force. But I mean, I've been. This is one of my canes that I made. I'll put this up here so you all can see it. It's a little beat up because I use my canes. But this actually has no head. It's just a square chunk of hickory. Very, very solid. It's, I want to say 3/4 of an inch because I have tiny hands. And this is actually the optimal sword grip size for me because my hands are so small. So I will be modding at least one of my pirate sword trainers to have a grip much more like this with a saw. It's tricky because of the wrist and forearm problems. And I do have knob style ones. They do. Canes hurt, and for me it's a choice because for me the canes hurt a lot of times, and I have neuropathy. I have neuropathy in my arms and legs, so pain is kind of my companion. But falling down was more tactically bothersome, so I just deal with the pain. And then I need something that's stable, and for me, that's more stable. I have very limited grip issue, and it's gotten worse. So I see it. I have one that's a palm style. It fits my palm just right. And if you can find one that fits just right, that's beautiful. See, basically, I've been using a derby style one my parents bought from Walmart. The underside of my bicep gets a little sore after a couple minutes of walking, but I'm getting better. Okay, that sounds like a strength issue. That sounds like the length isn't too bad, though. That doesn't sound like, because if it might be a bit long, but it's really hard to put length back on a cane after you take it off. It also suits just the way I move better, and I understand that too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all about building and balancing what works. For a while, I was lusting after the pivot crutch cane style, where it'll rotate like this, and you grab it, and it's got support, and your whole arm rests to your weight. But there are a lot of items out there. Don't be afraid to research and check. When you're looking for a cane, check Goodwill and Salvation Army. A lot of times they have canes. My beautiful custom cane that I'm kind of famous for, the one with the flames up the bottom, is a carbon fiber. It'd be about a $70 cane I got for $8 at a Goodwill. I love it. And I replaced the foot because I was wearing the foot out with a glow-in-the-dark foot, which I absolutely love because I have some dark stairways I have to navigate, and being able to see where the ground is by putting my cane on it really helps. So I like that. Cindy says, I used to use a cane a bunch, but when I stopped working jobs that required me to stand for 8 hours a day. So much better. Yeah, I do not work outside of the home currently, save for commission jobs, because fortunately Mandy makes enough that can financially support us, and it allows me to take care of Xander and deal with my own physical needs. We are not currently getting any financial support either for Xander or us. For my needs, we're just making it work and working on trying to get the next level. So he needs to work on upper body strength too. And that's just that. One of the best ways to do it is just do it, build up slowly, be patient with yourselves. This is also a great time to build up the other arm, depending on how you're using your cane, especially if you're building up your offhand. Because a great many people are not ambidextrous because they don't train equally. I was cursed and blessed with a severe wrist break in my right hand right before I took up SCA fencing. So a lot of the formative was actually left hand. And now I dabbled in saber. So my left hand likes a more concussive saber style, even a slightly heavier blade, whereas my right hand is exclusively, well, not exclusively, but much more prefers a lighter thrusting style. And my grips are slightly different. So we work around and we take the lessons that problems endow us with. Are those the throwing knives I was looking for? No, but there are a set of throwing knives. Anyway, so I will be upgrading the list field very soon. There's some other news that I put out in the Patreon. And to the people who are trying to contact me, who may be contacting me through my phone, while I'm live, I don't have access to my phone because it died en route and is charging. Not like dead, but the battery went dead, so it needs some time before I can do anything with it. Thesis says, I'm going back to the doctor on June 18th, and my physical therapist thinks I won't even need mobility assistance device by then. That is wonderful. I pray that is the case for you, but don't hide your cane away. Because until you've gone at least a full year and felt what the differences in barometric pressure are going to do to your joints and stuff, you want to be careful because there's still always the possibility of a bad day. I usually when I leave the house, I take a cane with me. I may not need it, but I may not need it as a mobility aid, but I may need it as a balance aid because I have ear damage that affects my balance. That's why part of why I don't ride motorcycles anymore. So there's a whole sliding scale. Plus, I find having a cane just too handy for when I need to reach things because I'm only 5'7". I was talking to someone recently and they actually thought I was a tall person. I found that hilarious. I'm a little short round man. But that's a whole thing. Cindy kept said, okay. Foxy says, ain't he a lucky? Yes, he is. Cindy kept says, my cane lives in the car. Foxy says, I always have mine just in case. The cane and the walker will always be accessible even when I don't need it. Better to need and not have than better to have and not need than need and not have. Also, there are other practical benefits to having a meter long stick that you can say, I have a reason for having. I use my cane as a reach adjustment all the time. Go to Walmart and those tall people put stuff way up and hook things down. That's part of the reason I prefer a derby hook. The derby style cane, which looks kind of like an upward mounted, little flattened out S, is that I can use it to nudge and hook and pull things down when I can't reach them otherwise. Obviously, there's some tactical applications. I get funny about the people who teach tactical cane fighting because many times they teach it from the perspective of someone who doesn't need a cane, and they're just simply carrying it as a defensive item. I find that interesting. I don't agree with it, but it's still better than a lot of things people could carry, so I understand that. Let's see. They will probably end up living with our Christmas gear. That's fair. Kind of how I feel about my sword, honestly. Better to have and need one than need and not have. I miss sword practice. I do that all the time. I assume you mean with the cane. Yeah, sword practice, but because I carry a cane, and I have for so long, if I were to think in terms of my primary defensive style, it would probably be 1 meter stick. It would probably be around my cane because that's what I have in hand, or eyebrow high if I'm using one of my walking sticks. It's not quite proper staff. It isn't pretty, but it works. And I do a lot of that. And it's important that if you're carrying something, think about what you're carrying. Think about why you're carrying it. So I have a couple walking sticks that I've actually crafted myself that hold lanterns, because I didn't like having a stick in one hand and a flashlight in the other and having to choose how I was going to handle things. If I'm walking with a walking stick and I have something that I can hang a lantern off the end, well, then I have a free hand that can do other things. I have a variety of canes tucked away. Some of them are sword canes. Most of them are not. I don't tend to like the elasticized collapsible ones because they flail if you swing them. I'm a big fan of just a square stock or a dowel rod straight cane with feet on both ends. That's one of my preferred. When I'm using as Foxy would say, a knob style cane, I like those. There are a lot of options. I almost wonder if I had an inkling something was going to happen, and that's why I made a sword cane trainer for myself after I finished Foxy. I absolutely believe that that's possible. There aren't many supernatural things I will unequivocally say yes, but I will not hesitate to say I totally believe in precognition in one form or another. People can get funny about the origin of it, but I truly believe that life has a tendency to give you a heads up if you're paying attention. And if you feel strange compulsions to make something or learn a skill, and you're not even sure why, if it doesn't hurt anything, do it. It may come in incredibly handy. And Foxy says, oh, it happens. Absolutely. And the more you listen to it, the easier it is to happen. Now, obviously, we don't want to stray into the realm of mental illness, but somewhere in that place between instinct and the subconscious, there's a place where you may know stuff before it happens. And I really do believe, listen to those gut feelings. There have been many dogs that people didn't like that I've gotten along with. I have yet to meet a person that dogs don't like that I end up getting along with long term. There's a lot to be said for that. Now, getting back, I made some announcements to the Patreon members, and I have staggered, so I need to actually, let me move this here and close that and open another window real quick, because I have a staggered release, but as part of the lovely ADD, sometimes my memory is at 100%. So I want to make sure that any announcement I make has already gone through my lovely Patreon supporters, who, if you want to be a member, you can just look at the link that is scrolling by right now. Boom. Now, are you going to open up? Thank you. Why did it lock me out of my own Patreon? Login. Thank you. Oh, because I every so often I log out of everything just to be safe. I want to make sure I told everybody about this stuff, and I want to make sure I'm going Patreon updated. That's what's going on. Boom. So, yes. Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty. I wanted to put that out there. So, what announcements do I have? Well, why am I caring? Oh yeah. Oh yes, yes, yes. Unless it's to eat your allergens. Allergens are addictive. I really believe that if you are allergic to milk, or or you have anything, there's a part of you that will always be craving it. I don't know if it's a mechanical version of the desire for the forbidden. I've been using my time to do research for the Han style bow scabbard. I plan on making it soonish. It's just like something popped up like, you need to make this. Then by all means make it. If you can record it, it's a good video to share around, because you have a lot of quality information, and I'd like to see you. If you I thought you had a YouTube channel. If you don't, you really should. I'd like to get a lot more voices talking about what we talk about out there, so that we can kind of network up and just help folks get the good ideas out there. Oh, and then we're back to the pupper. Yes. Oh man, I do that too. I was with Junkyard yet, and they're warning me that the dog was not friendly. Next thing you know, I'm sitting on a bumper with the pupper melting in my lap. Animals, kids, these things usually flock to me. I'm used to it. I thought you said I have a channel, but I don't post that much. Well, maybe while you're doing your recovery, it's a good time to post to that, because especially if you have viewers, it's a good chance for you to use your knowledge to help people, and I'm all for that. So yeah, consider it. But big news. I mentioned Luke Stone of Luke Stone Studios earlier. Well, you see, our buddy Luke will likely be moving his location and changing his vocation a bit. Without getting into too much, he's upgraded his video and sound equipment quite a bit. And I was talking about, I'm trying to upgrade things for the channel. And Luke basically is setting me up with a new camera, a new microphone kind of dealy, so you should get better video and better audio quality, and with a good price, very good price, a drawing tablet that plugs into the computer. So hopefully the box that's behind this big sheet right here can get set up, and I might have a whole different streaming setup as soon as he can find a way to get it all sent to me, because I'm the kind of guy who pays for things on time ahead. So I've said I'm planning on doing upgrades, and just to let you know, that's where the guild money went, in part to that, because getting a decent quality drawing tablet, new mic, and new camera for about $150, and helping somebody who will need it, that's a good deal. So that's where some of the money is going, and that's something that will definitely help the digital people. And I'm incredibly grateful, because I save up the money that I make so that I can do that. We dropped somewhere around 150 on some of the upgrades for the backyard to make the when I redo my list field this week. I'll probably be dropping almost that much in mulch, and that's to make it safe for my fighters, so that when they come out, it's a better setting and it's a better, easier to work venue. So I'm really excited about that, because I don't know. I honestly, because of the situation, I'm expecting very little turnout for this first practice. I think it might be the beginning of Memorial Day weekend. I may have totally derped that on my mental. Okay. Oh. Thesis. I was looking at webcams or microphones before my accident. I wanted better than my cruddy laptop cam, just in case you wanted to bring me on to ask questions about Chinese martial arts. Absolutely. That's one of those I would love to have. One I don't normally lean towards the panel shows because that can be a lot. But I would love to make an exception and do one for you and anybody else on the guild who I know actually participates and does martial arts to get in and talk about um your approach, your equipment choices, training sources, resources. I would love to have you on either this show or do a special one that fits with your schedule and as good a quality as you feel you can do. I mean, I should theoretically be able to hit this invite button right here and it will give me a link and I just copy it and I send it to you. You follow it through, set up, and you could be here. Not a problem. On a normal thing I'm set up. I'm usually setting up about a half hour before the stream starts. I like to sit down at about 7:30 and make sure everything's up and running and stuff. But hey, I can't really afford it right now because my boss decided I need to take time off for my recovery. I understand that. And even if you want to do it with less than perfect cameras and just come on, don't let that it's not studio quality stop you from doing something that could both help other people and maybe bring a little extra joy to your life. You're going through a lot. And I think it would be really fun to get some more energy as the practices kick up and as I get the guildies out here more. I want to do more live things because we've had a couple instances like when we were visited by Steve Clausen, who's attached to Boss Blades, or John Miner of Swakhammer Metals, who I really need to get a hold of John and see if he's doing anything creative. I'd love to get more people both in studio chatting like this and online. I still want to set up some panel shows. I definitely want to do some ladies of martial arts, just where I open the door and let them talk and just basically run things from the back and let them have the kind of conversations they need. Could use your phone. I will hold it. Yes, we absolutely could run right through your phone, and you don't necessarily need Foxy to hold them. I got a rig like this. Now, it doesn't fit my big phone in its case because I have to have extra reinforced cases that are often plastic to keep the nick effective feel. But this is a wonderful device I got for like $10 at Walmart. And it has the little selfie stick part that screws right in here. Boop, 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 boop. And opens up and then spring clamps. This works with my old phone, which I'm going to be cleaning a whole bunch of reference images off and then converting to being a secondary camera phone for some of the purposes. And before anyone gets grumpy, I work under the table for my dad so I don't get temporary disability or sick days. These things happen. And being of a I'm as politically independent as I am occupationally independent. So I support people who are working and making money, and I think it's wrong that so many systems out there exploit them. So you do what you got to do, and taking care of family is always a good thing. So I get you. But that being said, the other thing, if you can't work, this is an opportunity, and anybody who knows me knows this is where I say it. Write stuff down. Write up your approach to instructing. Take the most basic style, form, weapon, whatever you know the best, and start writing out how you teach it, how you perform it yourself. Codify things, because if you can't work, you might as well sit and do that. And then when you're done, you can sell it. And you guys don't know it, but on this channel is 1 to 2 superheroes. Of course, Cindy Cat and Frog G. These people are both tremendous promotional powerhouses. And Brian K. Morris is an incredible powerhouse of promotion. These are people who help other people spread good stuff. I am a humble acolyte, inside of their genius when it comes to that sort of thing. So if you create something and you put quality into it, I will be happy to spread the word. And maybe you can get some more, attention. Set up your YouTube channel, answer questions Eastern. You can kind of use my format. It's not specialized, Well, it's specialized, but it's not like patented, because if that were the case, never mind the furthermore would be Brian K. Morris would be beating on my door. But I'm currently working on a short story of a Chinese wolf shifter who feels like an outsider in his world because werewolves aren't Chinese. Write it up. Never be afraid to do fiction as well as nonfiction, even if you do a short story. If you do a short story, you can always get it cleaned up, proofread well, edited well, talk to people who know. You can't afford somebody, there are people who can hook you up with some advice. And then set up through like Kindle Direct, kdp.amazon.com, and you can publish through there as a quick read ebook. Set it at 99 cents or $2.99, and just put it out there. Because once you get it created, edited, and out, all it can do is earn you some money and maybe a little notoriety that you can use to spread good word. It's in Google Docs right now. I haven't touched it in a few days because I'm a little stuck, but I am working on it. Good. Work on that. Google Docs is a great tool. I find sometimes if I can't do the full keyboard, I can type with my thumbs. So sometimes I write on my my cell phone. Sometimes I write, set at my desk properly. It depends on what works. That lets it keep it fluid. It gives you a good backup. Cindy Kemp, who is an incredible author, says, when you get stuck, it's time to drop a body from the ceiling, i.e. do something weird. Absolutely, because you can always delete it. If it jars your mind and it locks something loose, use it. If you don't like it later, edit without mercy. Which will be part of my, pulling things back to announcement time, I've basically wrapped up. I still have some play testing to do, but, and of course support the project. And the reason you see me catch is because I'm not talking about it till they talk about it, and then I can talk about it a whole lot. But it's going to be a fun game. It's a neat concept. It's very close to a RPG setting I had a long time ago, and one is in my to visit category. So I may talk to them about doing stuff using that engine and linking to them. I'll ask them about that. But there's good stuff to be found. And since I'm done with that, I have one big art project, which is a pirate map. I have to do a giant pirate map for the library. And then I'm going to be doing all stuff. I'm not great with dialogue, and that's where I'm stuck. It has one intimate scene that's very, very early in the book that explains becomes a werewolf, but the rest of him is coming to terms with it. Work through it. Talk. One of the best things I find for dialogue is, where's my Dracoduck? I haven't been writing dialogue that I was worried about lately, so my Dracoduck is hiding. but you get somebody you can talk to. I have a one. Oh, well, here we'll use not Bob. This is not Bob. Bob is up behind me, and still needs a complete abracadabra on his back. But talk, 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 talk. Does that sound silly? Yeah, keep working with that. But you sounded off. There's some other great stuff. Foxy says, you're always welcome to bounce things off of me. And I'm going to let it go. This is me letting it go. Let it go. Let it go. Don't get sued by Disney. Okay. Being the only Chinese. Oh, sorry. And finding others who feel out of place. Absolutely. Cindy Cap has a great suggestion, as she always does. Assign each character to a person you know, so you have a personality to do the dialogue with. Absolutely. This is a great trick. You can use people you can know. You can use people you know. You can use celebrities like characters. You don't have to name them that, but you can mentally give them some of their mannerisms, and it makes it really easy. Foxy says, I'll play a character for you. Y'all. I've been doing so well not making jokes about her preferring the nut. I'm trying here, y'all. I love you guys. But, I'm a good guy, but I have to work to be a good guy. A good man doesn't need rules. Today is not the day to find out why I have so many. Yes, I butchered a Doctor Who quote, and I regret absolutely nothing. And Foxy just does an eye roll that, lets her see into her own subconscious. But that's okay. Now, I'm trying. You see me? We're keeping this boat. I've already based a character off of you love her. She's the one who turned him into a werewolf. Aww. So great. Life. Well, folks, those two are having more fun in my chat than I'm probably having sitting here. No, I'm kidding. I'm having a blast. But she says so I can bite you now. God, what? I am always surrounded by borderline lycanthropes. It is eerily how often I am surrounded by borderline lycanthropes. 3 cheers for the terminally furry. I love you guys, but man, it can be so frustrating. It's like, are y'all allergic to shirts? Is that just your thing? Yes. Okay. Space. You want the cuddle buddy pile? That's fine. I'm just sit here with my tea. Hobbity. Y'all that. But Nick, you're going to be the basis for a character later in the story too. Not a werewolf, but something else. That's usually the realm I have been known to sort in. Shirts no, but bras suck. Love-hate relationship with those things, because I understand the logistics and support being important, but I can, as somebody who's worn uncomfortable armor bits, I can sort of extrapolate the levels of discomfort from that too. So, City Keps has a manatee. Yes. Like, really, if I were to choose a very hedonistic lifestyle, large parts of it would be spent just floating around in warm, fresh water. Comfortable. The water is cool, the air is hot. Maybe munching. So yeah, I can see the manatee thing. In a beautiful world that I am not terribly needed, I'm important support wires are not good. Wires are treacherous and they have a bad habit of breaking. But the wires that you have left over when they break do make decent emergency lockpicks and jimmies. Allegedly, if you are talking to a rogue, which I can neither confirm nor deny. Anyway, I try to keep my shirt on, but darn it, they just fall off on their own. You know, it's not even funny. Back when I was running with the SCA, somewhere there's a horrible. Actually, I know exactly where it is because I may be re-editing it. I'm getting pushback from the few people who know its existence for me to try to re-edit my first novel-like entity and turn it into something publishable. But Amanda, my wife, has two. She said I've been pets, but yes, they are treacherous things. Well, you will be in the water. Groovy. I'm okay. I am totally okay with that. I have elemental affinities, but my problem is it's elemental affinity to the elements. You know, I'm not the Avatar, but I kind of got the Iroh jam of, yeah, I can make this one go, but I understand all the others. Which I suppose, you know, is fitting. Support characters need love too. Anyway. But, yeah. So, I do have some videos I want to shoot as soon as I'm froggy and I've got the facilities put back together. So, I have to rebuild the list field because, of course, it's been basically destroyed. And if I'm going to rebuild it, I build it better, faster, stronger. I have to do that. I want my study not to be a functional disaster, but to be an actual. I almost said an actual disaster. No, a actual situation, which is fine. But I want to do some videos on basic combinations. We need to start talking combinations, folks. I think I have literally one shirtless pic from me. It's on Facebook from being shirtless and being photographed shirtless are two entirely different things. I am a chunky monkey. I wear a t-shirt to the beach as a rule, as a courtesy to everyone around me, because I am both, you know, exceptionally, I believe the term is hirsute. I am furry. And no one wants to see a fat. Nobody wanted to see me when I was theoretically young and good looking. Nobody certainly wants to see an old gray beard shirtless, but you know, if you build it, they will come. That's been running through my head a lot because there's always the fear that I've become somewhat that with my limitations that I'm becoming useless. That's one of my great fears. And working around it, I've been able to pivot and do this, but it takes a lot. My version of imposter syndrome runs much deeper and hits much closer to the core of me than anything like I feel like I'm faking being a sword master or I'm not worthy of what I can go. I've published books on the matter. For me, it's more, you know, as a person feeling like I'm an imposter and I don't belong in like society at all. I have to, you know, I could go Walden real fast, especially if it weren't for some of the medical things, like the idea of just kicking your shoes off and walking into the woods. Always will appeal to me. I mean, I need a breathing machine to sleep, but you know, there's always that temptation of going full rogue or ranger or whatever you want to call it. Just, poof. But anyway, Giggles. Foxy says giggles. I think there are more shirtless pictures of me out there. There are things I can't know, so I will not tell me about that. Anyway, Foxy took a picture when I fell asleep on the couch with my pupper in my lap. Oh, that's adorable. Foxy says, "Hey, I don't know about that, Nick. Dad bods are in." I hear that allegedly, but I come from an era where if you're under 6 foot, you don't really have much value. Was basically what I was taught, and unless you're incredibly handsome, you pull a Tom Cruise or something. And I've always been gifted with a face for radio, so yeah. But I hope it is. I hope people are more accepting. And like, I try to have people be happier and more accepting of themselves than I am of myself. So we get that. Let's see now. Cindy says, if I were closer, I'd drop in on practice. I know, Cindy, and I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. There's a chance once Brian's schedule mellows out, or if gas crisis. Yes, gas crisis. If gas prices keep skyrocketing, we may get Brian K. Morris. I've invited him and Cookie out. They have an open invitation to come out and watch the fighting. They don't have to participate if they don't want to, but who knows? Maybe if we can get the weather right and I can fix up my old knife throwing board, which I just now came up with a good project that I should have thought of while I was sitting in Menards. Maybe we could do some knife throwing or something that's a little more eclectic. We'll figure it out. Welcome to the HFG. Notice the Nick support group. That's right. I will support you 24/7. And if I'm not awake when I wake up, I will be on. I know that's not what you mean, but yes. Okay. Lisa says, Foxy Love, we are not helping keep us mind. Not at all, but I love you. Like I said, folks, I am used to the company of people who at least moderately identify as lycanthropes. And while that's not my jam, I do hang out with a lot of people like that, and I have no problem with you. But boy, y'all are an open lot. And it's great. It's awesome. I just have to remember, okay, y'all be open, do your thing. I have to respect my rules and boundaries and let you not respect yours, because that's how it works. You have the right to do what you want if it's not inflicting me. This does mean I have walked in on situations where two people are intimate and a third person is sitting next to the bed with a notebook providing critique and advice. Yeah, I've been in some odd situations for a guy who's as straight edge and relatively clean natured as I am. In my opinion, you're better looking than Cruz. He's a goofy looking. Thank you. Y'all are going to give me that. What's that stuff? Self-esteem. Anyway, Cindy, I may not be able to train myself, but I can still help you with fan forms if you have any questions. Helps me feel useful. There's nothing better than that when you are stuck. Now, I do want to talk, and I got about 5 minutes till the hour, so I've got time. And I know I've been running a little over, but I don't want to run too over because my wife has to work tomorrow, so I have to keep things kind of nice and tidy. Oh, Cindy says, thanks. I'm still trying to figure out how to flip the fan around. I might be looking for another form to learn in the meantime. Groovy, Cindy. I am so proud of you on that one. But today is May 20th, and every May 20th, I take it very seriously. Have in the past. A lot of people. I have talked to a lot of people down from suicide in my time, and I'm gonna get real serious real fast here. So bear with me. I apologize for that, but it's important. And by a lot, I mean I lost numbers in the triple digits. But it doesn't matter how many you help when you know there are ones who missed. And there are a lot of ways to go about it. A lot of people I know have given up. And, while they didn't do the deed, maybe they chose not to take preventative action. But it's one of my personal vendettas. They're personal missions. There are people like Luke who are pastors and they're biblically trained, and in other religions too. I'm not bad saying, but they're all about saving the soul, and they're respected. I am not so gifted, but I've had the knack to help keep people alive one more day. And I've also had people die not related to that, but May 20th is always a bad day for me. And it's also, ironically, the birthday of one of my dear friends who would have been 41 today. He died at 39, 38. I'd have to do the math a little better than I'm capable of right now. But he fought a lot of hard battles, and he finally lost it. And it health related, but other things too. So I know every time I end one of these shows, I say, be kind to yourself and each other. And I don't know if y'all realize how important that is to me as something I almost preach, complex issue. But whether it's something like that, or it's simple illness or accident, the loss of someone in your life, relative, friend, acquaintance, maybe just somebody who mentored you or was an inspiration, and in many ways Ben kind of waddled his way through all those categories when I think on him. But there's a hole. And as somebody who doesn't always see their own worth, I understand what it feels like to not see your own worth. And it's worth it for the next day for you to stick around. And if you're thinking about it, please reach out to somebody. And I know it's hard. And if you have the slightest inkling, we're talking about that inkling in your belly that says, maybe I need to do something. If you ever get that, to reach out to people, do it. Don't skip out lightly on events where you can see people who matter to you. Don't think you're owned a tomorrow. And oh yeah, I'm gonna put that up, Foxy. It does get better. Maybe not tomorrow, but it does get better. You gotta reach out and be there and mean it. If you're reaching out, you gotta do the job. And if you can't, you gotta get it to somebody else. I've lost friends because I've called the cops. There are people right now who hate me because I destroyed their life. Well, yeah, I did. I destroyed the life. I notified the authorities and kept them on the line instead of letting them down the pills. And it cost them jobs and stuff. And I don't care. It kept them alive. And that's the funny thing. They would have been fine with letting themselves pass, but they wouldn't. I'm sorry. One of the neighbors rode by on a golf cart, surveying the property as they do. But smile, wave, try not to be too creepy. Anyway, help folks. And look out for the people who are too strong. If you see that person that everybody around them leans on too much, and don't go pointing this at me. I'm okay. I am. Virtual folks, thank you. I'm okay because, in part, it's my job to be okay. And even if I'm not okay, I deal with things through training, but reach out to those other folks who smile too much or laugh too loud, or the ones everybody goes to when they're having a bad day, but you never see them have a bad day. Watch them. That's the Robin Williams in your world. Watch them. Because they're the strongest people in the world till they're not. And watch for that in yourselves, guys. I teach situational awareness. I teach the world is a melee. It's an ongoing melee engagement. That's a reality. And your circle of control radiates concentric circles from you. I've said this many times, many a melee lecture. The first one is your head and your heart, these guys. You got to monitor that close. So maybe for fear, maybe for not. Take some time, reach out to the family that maybe you've been putting off. And I don't mean recount don't go after toxic relationships or things like that. Sometimes the healthiest thing for everybody is to leave in that. But for the good ones that maybe you might take for granted, reach out to them. They might need it more than you know, and you may never know. Strange things save people. Sudden surprise lights can shine up in the darkness when you least expect it. And if you are in that kind of darkness, look for that. Because, you might not notice a candle in the middle of the day at noon, but in the dark at night, when the clouds are over, the sky's falling all around, that candle casts a radiance that can't be described until it's needed. So that's why I work so hard, and I'm constantly dropping random silly stuff in people's instant messengers and providing words of encouragement, in part because it makes the world better, and in part because I don't know what's needed. So I just try to do as much as I can on that field. And I pray, if I looked back at years of this, I only helped one person that I didn't know about, that I just randomly tried, then it's all worth it. And that's part of me being useful. That's, you make deals with yourself as you go through life. And even when you get better, there's still little fragments of that logic. And it's important. It's vital. If you have a talent to do good, to create something that brings joy, because you never know. Your book, your story, your picture, maybe the one thing at the right moment. It's a tool in the box, toolbox of the universe. However you want to perceive divinity, God, there's a whole bunch of hard to pronounce names. My boss. Every time you create something and you create it out of love and purpose, whatever it is, there's a chance that might be just enough reason to get somebody through one more dark night. And that might be just enough. It's all about the dominoes, that little nudge that puts somebody on a better course. And if I were really honest, that's the core of why I do what I do. It's why I set up the guild. It's why, in many ways, why I learned to sword fight, because I had to put stuff somewhere that was safe. And it's why every week I try to be here, even when maybe I don't feel up to it. Because this might make somebody feel just better enough to go a little longer. That's all I can do. So try and do that. Okay, folks? And there's some great stuff coming up in the commentary. But yeah, it's one, there's the saying, one day at a time. I was raised very adjacent to certain organizations that help people with problems. And while I don't have those problems because I've avoided the root cause of them, or, the hook, I still try to follow the rules because they're good rules. There's some good rules in there. And part of it is you gotta try to put out more than you take in. As Luke says, leave the wood pile a little higher than you found it. Let me scroll back because you guys made some comments, but let's see. Foxy Hugs. Let's see. Oh, I gotta go. I almost had a comment dump, but you guys were fine. Fine. Meantime, love to you and yours, Nick. It's always hard. Yeah, it is. I've been thinking about that. The fan flip, and you can translate it to using your wrist using your forearm and elbow to spread the force over a greater area. Possibly. A lot of it depends on the strength and the angle, but I see where you're going with that. That's cool. Foxy says hugs. Cindy says thesis, I'll give it practice time tomorrow. Foxy says it does get better, maybe not tomorrow, but does get. Yes, it does. I really believe it. Now, I've come through a lot, and I'm here when other people should have been here and me not. And there's always a chance to make things better. Just give yourself the chance and help others find theirs. Virtual hugs. I have been the strong one. It's not easy. It's left me jaded on certain things. Yeah, I have to. It's hard. It's hard to be the strong one. I just try to compliment people when I'm not. Me too. I love people who express themselves with something I can. Like, hey, that's a really cool shirt, or they've done something distinctive. You never know when you'll make somebody's day better. But let's see. But it helped me realize who my real family is and who the ones who will use and abandon you when you outlive your usefulness. And if one day at a time is too hard, go an hour at a time. Go, if that's too long, go a minute at a time. Sometimes you gotta go one breath at a time. In, hold, out. You go one breath cycle in and out a time. Because sometimes that's as much as you can process. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with crawling when you get knocked down. When people think get knocked down, you get back up again. And you do. But nobody says you have to get back up quickly. You get it back up in the time you need. If you can't, it's this Firefly. If you can't run, you crawl. If you can't crawl, you get somebody to carry you. Reach out if you need it. Even if you think you need it. If you wish you could admit you needed it. Reach out to folks. Find something that brings you joy. And if you think somebody does, reach out to them. Because it's hard to reach for help when you're drowning. It takes somebody, watching. So do that. And while we're at it, guys, thank you. We're a little over an hour. And I don't want to end on a bummer, but great things are coming. Improvements in broadcast as soon as the shipping stuff can get settled. Improvements in facilities. We'll get people out here. Start building some new stories. I am planning as soon as I get through this, because I'm going to have to take this week of setup. Then I'll double down on wrapping up the first draft of the Simple Sword. Foxy says, and if anyone needs to talk, I'm more or less always available. Yeah, reach out to somebody you trust, folks. But so I'll be wrapping up the Simple Sphere soon. And then I have a whole backlog of projects I put off because I've been doing projects for everybody else. And when I get the office done, I'll probably it might be a Patreon exclusive. I might do a Patreon exclusive video, secret link style of my workspace, because that's something people have asked about. And we should have a lot more content. We're right on the cusp of some really cool things coming. And Thies says, if you need help with tech support of new gadgets, I've done IT in the past. But thank you. I like that. Once I get everything in, I can fidget with it and see what works with what. I have a new untested system I want to try to set up to see if that works, and just pick what will do this the best here, and what I can, because I stream through StreamYard, I can use mobile devices to do streaming and other things as happens, which means I might be able to set up a stream for practices where I can set the camera up and then have like Amanda manning the or someone else manning the comments, which would be really cool when I'm doing the whole sword mastery thing. So good stuff is coming. Summer is basically here in Indiana, I tell you what. So what I need you guys to do is, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this. We did get a little serious, but I don't think we need to dwell on that. I want to remind you, guys, that the Historical Fencing Guild is made possible, of course, by sales. Let me get my spiel going. Of the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe. Both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Stockert. The Big Stompy Robots. I will be getting some more copies of my books in for demonstration and selling purposes, because Small Arms is a great book, as is Eyes to the Sky. And the Sons of God role-playing game. The full version is supposed to come out nearing Christmas time. The original plan was for it to ship at Christmas, but that's on Luke, and he has a whole lot on his plate. Thesis says that would be cool to see a live practice broadcast. I will do an announcement probably next week of my appearances when I'm going to be down at Benton County Library. And, when the pirate demo is. I will see if I can get the demo recorded. And, we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much for coming out on a lovely Friday evening. If there's anything else I can do, please let me know. If you want to further support, there's the Historical Fencing Guild link on Patreon. And other than that, guys, seriously, do your drills. Keep your guard up. Be kind to yourself and each other. And as always, thank you for supporting your local sword master. Good night, everybody.